having goals without a greater vision is like driving a car with no destination, right? So if you have goals, and a lot of the speakers here have been saying this, but you put a goal down and you don't know exactly what that goal is or what it's the purpose for it, it's going to go nowhere. So it's very important when you talk about generational wealth, and I know maybe a lot of you, any of you have already started your planning on generational wealth for your family? So this is something that is very important. A lot of people tell me when I speak on stages, oh, but I just started my business. I haven't made any kind of wealth yet. It doesn't matter. Starting when you have zero is where you need to go, because it's so much better that you have a vision of what you want your generational wealth to be. Where do you want it? What's that legacy that you want to create? It doesn't matter that you don't have anything. I wish I would have had the knowledge and the understanding of generational wealth when I first started, because I missed out on so many years and steps that I could have done at the very beginning. And we didn't, because we didn't really know this. Like I said, our first mindset was, I just want to be rich. I just want to be rich. And it's not the right way to think, but if you don't have the information, you can't do it. So it's very important that you start with your goals about generational wealth. Okay, so vision must be big, visible, multifaceted, and use the SMART goals. There's something that's called SMART goals, and I'm going to go through it in my slides. But you always have to think big. Don't ever allow anyone to tell you that's too big for you. Because if you don't think big, you will never reach, you'll always have a ceiling. And having a ceiling is the worst thing you could ever do when you want to create, when you want to be that entrepreneur, or even working in a large corporation for it, that you're an employee, but like she said, you're an entrepreneur at heart. If you don't think big, you'll always have a ceiling. So the bigger you think, and it doesn't mean that you're going to think big, I want to be, whatever it is that you want to be, that you're going to be tomorrow. But if you think big, you're going to get there. You're going to force yourself, because you're not reaching that goal yet. And you're like, oh my God, I got to get there. Next year, this is going to be this. But big, think always big. Always. It doesn't matter what it is. Personal, career, business, always big. Visible, and multifaceted. Your brain, and there are studies about this, like Sandy said before, if you see it on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, you're more likely to get this done. So for us, I always have this whole plan that I'm doing for 100 years. I have it on a vision board on what I'm envisioning. I'm always looking at all these big families that have created this legacy, and it's multifaceted. You need to be able to do different things in order to get to that vision that you want. You can't stay stuck with, I'm going to only do real estate because that's what I want to do. And if you fail, I'm not going to go nowhere else but just real estate. You can't, because you don't know what's going to come around. There's environment, there's markets, so you always have to be able to create different lanes in order for your big goal to accomplish your big goal. Using the SMART goals and actions, you're going to see those are goals that you're going to put that are able to achieve them, to be able to do it on your own. And we're going to go over it in a little bit, so I don't want to get too much into the SMART goal. This was the wrong slide, but okay. This is myself and my husband when we first met. I was actually pregnant with my daughter there. And this is supposed to be, the slide was supposed to say, if the difference between thinking of being rich and being wealthy, they're so different. Very, very different. And like I said, when you first start, that's the first thing you come to your mind. Oh my God, I want to be rich. I want to have the Mercedes. I want to have the mansion. I want to have 2 houses. I want to wear the Rolex. And that's great. That's awesome. That's the way that you start, and everybody, it's normal. But it's such a difference in being rich and being wealthy. When you're rich, you have to go to work every single day. You got to wake up, and you know that if you're not there, whatever it is that you're doing is not going to get done, or it's not going to produce. And being wealthy, is that you've made it where you are not needed at that, whatever it is, the business, the investments, whatever it is. You don't need to be there physically on a daily basis. You could have your financial freedom. You could call what you want to do. You are able to, that roadmap has been built. So now it's so much easier to walk it than having to be with that, hammer or whatever it is to be able to carve it out and be there. So now today, think about what it is that you really want for your long term, for your legacy, for your generational wealth. Skip being rich. It's the same effort that you're going to put into whatever you're doing to create rich than to create wealth. And you'll see, once you start thinking about it, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. I don't know what happened here. What did I do? Okay. So here's some of the stuff that the other speakers already spoke about, but it's very important that when you do a vision board, that an action board, whatever you want to call it, that you just don't put there material stuff. You need to have meaningful stuff that's going to really make a difference on what your goals are. Because like I just spoke about, that rich mentality compared to that wealth mentality is you're able to accomplish so much more. And to tell you the truth, it becomes so much easier because your mindset is for long term instead of that, I want to hustle and bustle and then what? And then you did what? You got there and you can't maintain it. It's a constant battle. So making sure that when you do these meaningful things that, what do I want to achieve and learn? What is it? What is it really that I really want to do? Skills needed. Guys, in order for you to have your goals, if you don't have skills, you can't accomplish a lot of stuff. You can't just say, and that happened to me. The reason why I'm saying this, myself and my husband, when we first started, we had no skills. We had no knowledge. We thought that we're not, I was 19, he was 22. We could kill this. We have it all. At that age, you think, oh my God, I don't need anything. I'm the smartest. I'm the best. That nothing could happen to me. Nobody knows more than I do. It's all those things and skills. And I'm not talking about going to a college or university or becoming a doctor. None of that. I'm talking about the skill sets you need for the goals that you want to accomplish, for the vision that you have for your legacy is what I'm talking about. Your resources needed. When you want to open a business or when you have a business and you want to scale your business, what resources do I need in order to accomplish this? And that was one of the things that really helped us a lot in our businesses, was the resources that we were able to obtain in order to scale. You can't do this on your own. You need a team. I don't care how smart you are. How much money you have. You need a team in order to accomplish your goals of a business, of something that you really want to build. It's impossible to do it with one person. It's not a realistic thing. So you always need resources. So learn about the resources that you need in order to accomplish your goals. And everybody's resources in here are going to be completely different. For every business, for any goal that you want, everybody has their own individuality of what they're seeing, what they want. So those are very important. Masterminds that you want to join. I think masterminds, I wish I had known about masterminds when I was young. They are incredible. The networking that you're able to be with around the same mindsets, the help that you're able to get from each individual. Everybody brings something different to the table. You're able to grow your mind, your skill sets, your resources that you need. The best place to find them are always in these masterminds. You always have something that you could get out of each mastermind that you join. And I try to attend, I speak in a lot of these masterminds, and I'm always in the audience, always. I always sit there, I always listen to other speakers. It doesn't matter what I've accomplished. I'm still growing. I never want to stop growing personally or in my career. So listening to others speak, sitting down in, networking with individuals in masterminds is the best. I've found many resources in these masterminds. And I know a lot of people say, oh, but I don't have the money. I don't want to spend that dollar. I know I want to do, I'd rather go buy something or go get on vacation. Well, let me tell you something. If you're not where you want to be in life, at the point of your life where you're at, these masterminds are where you need to spend your money. They are the best things that could ever give you when you want to grow. A conferences, habits. There's a lot of habits that we create that stop us a lot of times from us getting where we want to get, doing what we want to do. And every year we try to write down what habits we want to leave behind, because you create them without even knowing. You create them. At the end of the year, you're like, oh my God, I have this habit that's stopping me from, this is what's stopping me. So, we write down, what do we want to leave behind for this year that stopped us from doing whatever it is, and get them out of the way. And there might be some great habits that you don't want to let go of. One of those, if you're an organized person and you have all those skills, you don't want to let go of that habit. Being on a calendar, you don't want to let go of that habit, but there are habits that stop you from going where you want to. How will I feel once I achieve these? The feeling is amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever sat there and said, wow, even though you're not where you want to be, but you accomplished that first step of a goal and you were able to do it, you feel amazing. And that just gives you the fuel to go for it and go even faster. And you just start getting in that good feeling, that PMA that just lets you go. So this is a Tony Robbins saying, and I love it. It's setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. I love this from Tony Robbins. Okay, so let's reverse engineer your goals and I do this, guys, and I'm talking about generational wealth goals. For me, I'm very, very big into creating this legacy that I want to leave behind. So when I talk about what I'm talking about, for me, is more mindset and goal setting for my generational wealth legacy that I want to leave behind. But you always have to have an annual goal. Always. You have to have that big goal that it's going to take you 12 months to get there. Then you want to break it down to, I call them stepping stones, where you have that monthly goal, the weekly goal, and the daily goal. You cannot accomplish a goal in one day. It's impossible. I don't care how good you are. So daily, you can have those little stepping stones that will get you there. This year is going to talk about more about real estate, because I don't know if you guys all know, but that's my main business is real estate. So I just put things there that, the big goals for the year, what does it take to accomplish it? Revisit your business or your career stepping stones that you have. How can you get it better? What can you do to be able to get those stepping stones to go on a road map that is so much easier than just going zigzagging? Because, when you go to the sides and you start zigzagging, it takes so long to get to the end. But when you have that roadmap that you plan out, that you have those stepping stones, it's such an easy pathway. You're going on a straight line. And when you go in a straight line to get to that end goal, it's so much easier. And I've done the zigzagging for many years. Many, many years. So I'm not saying, oh, well, I'm here perfect and I know that this is the way. No, it's just these are the steps that I did wrong. And now I learned and we're doing them a little different and they're so much easier. Okay, so we're to the SMART goals. And again, I didn't come up with this. This is something that's out there. I've taken the steps and it makes it so much easier again. So you could read them, but S is for specifics. You need to make sure you understand your goals. You want to make sure that you know what it is. You see it clearly. Because if you don't see it clearly, how can you create that stepping stones to get there? They're measurable. You want to make sure that there's something that you are able to do, or your team, that you're able to make it where you, your team, whoever your partner is able to do it. Because if you don't measure it, and if it's not real, we're going to get to realistic, but if you don't measure it, how do you know that you're going to get there by the end of the year? And those are those stepping stones that you have to create. Actionable. They have to be action orientated. They have to be able that you are able to take action to putting those whatever those stepping stones are, they have to make sure that you're able to do it with you, with your team. Again, I never do nothing alone because I'm not an octopus. And I always love to create my team so that my team and myself have these same visions and that we know where we're going. But they have to be realistic. You can't just say that I want to be a billionaire in 1 year. Can that happen? 1 out of a million? Yeah. I mean, but I guess, but is it realistic? No, it takes a lot of work. If not, everybody would do it, so you have to be realistic with your goals. You never want to feel like if you're a complete failure. When you start feeling like you're failing, it brings down your morality, your everything. It just doesn't make you feel good. So having realistic goals, and remember, goals, you're doing them yearly. So yeah, do you have a big vision that in 10 years or 5 years or 3 years, whatever it is, this is what I want? But your yearly goals, they need to be realistic, that you know that you can make those marks, get there. And time bound. The time, you have to have a time limit on each stepping stone, because I believe, Mary, you spoke about it, right? That if you don't, how are you going to be able to get to the next stepping stone? You're going to be the silent quitter if you don't, right? You need to have, okay, so in a month, I want to have this goal done. In 2 months, I want to have this goal done, so that when the 12 months gets here, your goal got met. And this SMART thing, I love it. It's made my life so much easier when it comes down to making goals. And you also want to ask yourself, with these goals that you put on, for example, for me, my legacy, my 100-year legacy creation that I'm building, I always look at this. Does it boost your profits? For us, it does, because it's going to continue the growth of our legacy that we have created. And it's just going to continue boosting and lasting longer than what we expected. Accelerated cash flow on your businesses. The monthly cash flow is always, no matter what business you're in, that monthly cash flow of whatever business is very important, because it's what keeps going for you to be able to continue creating, being able to get your business to a different level. So it's very, very important. Scaling your business revenue. You never want to stay stunned. So with your goals, you need to make sure that you know that you are increasing your revenue on yearly, monthly, whatever it is. But if you don't, what are you doing? You're staying like in a hamster wheel. You're just sitting there and working very, very hard and doing nothing. You're just staying in the same place. So, these goals need to make sure that they're accomplishing with your goals.